Now we're joined by two aspiring young students preparing for a special trip to the US, to Phoenix, Arizona to be precise, this summer as youth ambassadors. Before they go, we're going to hear about a musical instrument appeal, collecting unused instruments and giving them a new life. And joining us are the youth ambassadors Lucy Lennon and Seamus McGuire, and of course the Fine Gael councillor who's involved with the Ennis-Phoenix twinning board, Mary Howard. A very good morning to all three of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks very much for coming in. Mary, you've been in with us before about this Youth Ambassador programme, and you know, both with ambassadors going from here over to Phoenix and American students coming over here. Talk to us a bit about how successful that particular initiative has been, because it's been running for a number of years now.
Yeah, we're twinned with Phoenix since 1988, and the Youth Ambassador programme is going in excess of 30 years. When exactly it started, I'm not 100% sure. We think it's in around 30 years, because I'm regularly meeting people saying, I was youth ambassador back in 1998 or 1999, and so it's great to hear that the people still remember it. And it's a really important programme, because our young people that go over there, first of all, the youths come from the States and they live with the families here, so they're home hosted here. They live life as an Irish teenager for 3 weeks. So we bring them all over County Clare to see all the County Clare has to offer, whether it's Cliffs of Moher, whether it's surfing. You had Carconnell Stonefort on this morning. The sheep trials always blows them away. You know, there's a certain whistle to a dog and the dog will do something. The Bunratty Castle in the Folk Park, Loop Head Lighthouse, they get to see all of that. They also do paddleboarding in Ballyella. We bring them to Cusick Park. I think the girls were in with you here a couple of years ago and they saw the ladies footballers and they were traumatised. They couldn't get over how physical it was. And for the crack, I said to them, I said, you see those two guys with the white jackets up by the goalposts? I said, they're doctors. Oh, thank God. But they were like saying, it's so, and they're going, no, actually, they're just there to make sure the ball is either in or out. But so it's an amazing experience. So as I said, the Phoenix teenagers arrive here in June. There's a little bit of a break, and then our youth ambassadors go over there in July to live life for 3 weeks with their host family over there, which is the parents or the family of the teenagers have been with them. So it's kind of like a family exchange in one way. And then as part of that, while they're here as well, they do a little bit of volunteering. They do morning in the District Daycare Centre in Clarecastle. They do an evening or two within his Tidy Towns, but they also run this project, which is the Musical Instrument Appeal, which started about 14 years ago. On foot of, we had a marching band here from Phoenix, from St Mary's High School, and they were in the St Patrick's Day Parade, and people might remember them, the big huge sousaphone. We don't have them in Ireland, they're big kind of trumpet wraps around you. So because we were trying to locate a sousaphone in Ireland, and I don't think there was one, because it was costing a lot to
I'm glad you
transport.
told us all the real name of those things.
So, yeah. Well, if you listen to the Jungle Book, now the sound of that jumps out at me, because it's been so long trying to find one anyway, but between the jigsaws. So they're getting a very rounded experience, it sounds like, of life here. When they were here, we went to a school in Ennis to hear that 18 of the students had been on music scholarships, but they couldn't afford instruments. So that was the genesis of this project, was, how do we do something to ensure those kids can get their hands on an instrument. They all could play tin whistles at the time in that school. They had a huge music ethos that every child in that school played music in some shape or form. And that's for the genesis. That was where the project appeared out of.
A really interesting project. I do want to ask both Lucy and Seamus about going over to Phoenix. Lucy, tell us a bit about getting involved and how excited you are at the prospect of going. I don't know if you've been to the US before or...
No, I haven't. I'm really excited to go because I'm so suspicious about how different our cultures are, here and over there, and the weather over there is meant to be really hot as well.
I was just going to say, our summer's over now by the looks of it, so you might be welcoming this trip over there for the sun again.
Even the past few days, it's been really hot over here, and I'm not even used to it. I was dying over here, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it over there, but I was nervous at the start because I didn't know if me and the person I'm going over with, the family I'm staying with, if we'd get along or not. But I got her social media and we've been texting the past few days, and she seems very nice and I feel like we'll get along really well. So I'm not as nervous anymore, and I'm actually really excited to go over to see how different it is and everything. Like,
Yeah, and I suppose was that a consideration for you as well, Seamus? And is it a good idea to touch base with, the host family, just to get a sense of, how well or otherwise you'd be able to settle in before you go?
Yeah, we were both talking to the people we're going over to for the past few days, and they both actually seem very, very nice. We have a lot in common with them as well, and they're all very active and sociable. So we'll probably meet their friends as well, and they have a few siblings, I think, as well. So it'd be interesting to see what their life is like over there, and what they eat and what they do during the day.
How much are you looking forward or otherwise to the weather? There's a reason the city's NBA basketball team is called the Phoenix Suns. It is a hot place. Are you looking forward to that, or are you stocking loads of bottles of Factor 50 with you?
Hopefully it's not too warm, but it seems going to be warm. And we were told we were going to be inside a lot, but we're going to make the most out of it and maybe go to a few pool parties and out in the sun as well, hopefully.
Yeah, and indeed, actually, for both of you, Mary told us about all the things that the students from Phoenix will do coming over here. Lucy, how aware are you of what yourself and Seamus's schedules will be? What kind of activities you'll be getting up to? Or have you been given a small sense of that, and the rest of it be revealed when you get over there?
We don't really know fully what we're doing yet. Like, it's more like when we go over, we'll figure it out, because we don't want to ruin the surprise, really. But the student that I'm going over with, she was telling me that if I have anything specific I want to do, I can tell her, and she can sort it out between the both of us to do it. Okay,
so have you been Googling Phoenix things to do and all that? Yeah,
I have.
Have you found a lot of things you like?
Yeah, the Grand Canyon.
Your wish list. The Grand Canyon, yeah. Very good. What about yourself, Seamus?
The Grand Canyon as well, but I've seen that we might be going to a few games, baseball games. That'd be interesting to see, because we haven't seen them before. And also there's lots of different shops over there that we haven't got in Ireland, so it'd be really interesting to see all them.
Will you be going to Target?
Yeah.
I've been to Target. It's great. I'm not making fun of it. It's going to be a real eye opener for them, Mary. A really great experience.
Absolutely. As Lucy said there, a lot of the activities will be indoors and they're air conditioned, because it can be, we had 20 or 21 degrees here yesterday, but it can be up to 40 in the mid 40s over there, which is really, what was the ad years ago? If you had an egg, you could cook it, sort of weather. So it is quite hot, but they've everything is indoors and it's all air conditioned. It's extraordinary, but it's completely different culture, and they will have prom while they're over there. And they'll have a prom king and a prom queen, which I think the last time we had the prom king was Ollie, or not Ollie, but Taig Malooly and Dervla from Ennis.
They must have had fun trying to announce Taig and Dervla's names. Taji and
exactly. Oh, that was so funny that time.
Dear
At
Blah.
least now, and I've sent over the phonetic pronunciation for Seamus. That year we had Aruri, Taig, and Dervla had every consonant in the vocabulary in the alphabet in her name, and they just could not get their tongues around it. But so no, Lucy's lovely and simple, and Seamus they seem to be managing, so that's fine. But
you are going to get called Seamus at some stage.
Oh, you will. Absolutely. They'll be looking at it going, how do you pronounce this name? And they usually do a presentation every year when they go to Phoenix, and over the last number of years they've done that, where they've done Irish names and asked people to try and pronounce them, because we just love our consonants stuck in the middle, and they're all silent, stuck into the middle of a name, and it's
a guessing game.
Absolutely. But while they're out there as well, as I said, they have prom, they'll have Thanksgiving, they go to a Diamondbacks game, which is the local baseball. They have a fairly full schedule right there, but also, while they're out there, they're part of a much bigger group. We will be hosting the four of them here for the month of June, but when they go over, their part is Phoenix is twinned with 10 other cities. Even though they consider Ennis.
So there'll be other international
students. So there will be, they'll be in a cohort of about 50 young people. So there'll be lots of relationships made and a lot of friendships made that they will have for the rest of their lives, because we found over the years a huge amount of youth ambassadors have gone back to do a semester in college or to do an internship. So it allows that to happen.
Very good. It sounds like Lucy will end up coming back with lots of international friends who you'll be staying in touch with on social media.
Yeah, I will. I'm so curious about learning about the other, not just Phoenix, but the other cities and stuff that are going over there, because I've always been so interested in Italy and Germany and all those other countries that I don't think I'll actually be going to anytime soon. So now that I know that they'll be there too, not just Phoenix students, there'll be other students from all over the world. So I'm excited to learn about them as well.
You never know, Seamus. Maybe they'd be struggling with Italian and German names. They might even get around to yours.
Hopefully.
Look, it's going to be a great experience. The instruments themselves, Mary, in terms of like how you know, in a typical year, on average, roughly speaking, how many have you gotten, and how do they get there?
It varies each year because it depends. Say at the end of COVID, for instance, I got an awful lot of instruments because everybody went spring cleaning their houses, and next thing they were finding fiddles under the bed and accordions under the stairs, and they were still in perfect working condition. So they've all been donated to schools, and we've worked with Squel Creastree, the Holy Family, Dura, and Ennis Community College, and because those schools have a very strong music ethos, and every house in Ireland is like having hurleys and helmets and soccer boots. Every house in Ireland have these, and they're usually in pretty good, because you do take care of them while you're playing them. But a young person could now be in college, have no more interest in playing it, or it's just not being played anymore, and we can ensure that a young person will be able to play it in the future. A few years ago I got the piano accordions, and we don't really have a strong culture of playing those, but the Ukrainians did. So actually we have 2 Ukrainians, young people, one here in Ennis and one in Kilkee, who got 2 of those accordions because they couldn't bring their quite big and cumbersome. They couldn't bring those with them. Absolutely thrilled, and it gave them, it was good for their well-being, considering what they'd been through. So any instrument like that. The only thing we don't take is pianos, because they're a little bit difficult to move when you got to retune them, and that proves a little bit costly. So, but anything else, guitars, keyboards, fiddles, ukuleles, you name it, we'll take it. Okay, have a look around your house, and if there's any musical instrument you haven't touched in years and don't plan on doing so, then donate it. My thanks to you, Mary Howard. Thank you very much. The chairperson, the Ennis-Phoenix Twinning Board, and the youth ambassadors, Lucy Lennon and Seamus McGuire. Thanks very much to both of you, and hope you really enjoy your time over in Phoenix, and don't get too sunburned.